Good morning. This morning we're at January 31st, going into the new year, and my grandson Austin has agreed to come over
Hi there.
and help with making some cacao kale chips.
I'm excited.
Right, I am too. So this is a first, so we'll try to make it simple and informative and a fun experience.
Yeah.
So you want to read what we will be doing here?
Sounds good. Do you want me to start off with the ingredients?
That would be good.
Okay.
I've laid them all out here, and we'll talk about what's going into the mix for the chips.
Perfect. All right. So the recipe is pretty simple. We like to keep things simple around here. So the ingredients, not too complex. You've got one bunch of kale, which needs to be washed and the big stems removed. So that's what we've got here. Also, you'll want half a cup of cashews soaked right here. It's ideal to soak them for about 4 to 6 hours, but at least 1 hour. So then also we've got one tablespoon of coconut secret nectar plus 1 tablespoon of honey. Are we sticking with the honey?
We're going to do the honey. We don't have the
Perfect.
coconut nectar on hand, but the honey works equally well, and it's raw honey.
Perfect. So we'll use 1 tablespoon of raw honey, and also you'll want to use 1/4 of a tablespoon of stevia. It's pretty powerful stuff. Our preference is kale or cow.
Cow liquid.
Cow
Pure
liquid.
stevia in an extract.
So it's
So-
nice
and
because this brand has very little aftertaste, which often comes with stevia. But yeah, cow, I don't really taste anything.
And it's nice because it's very easy to dispense and also to regulate the amount, because stevia is about 200 times sweeter than sugar. But it's great for
sweet.
anybody that is needing to watch their sugar intake, which pretty much is all of us.
Is all of us, I'd
Right.
say, yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Also, you want to use 1/3 of a cup of cacao powder.
And we're using Navitas. They make a lot of great raw superfoods, and their raw chocolate powder or cacao powder is really excellent.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I use it. It's great stuff. It's great to make anything. I mean, smoothies, protein shakes, brownies, anything that you want a dash of chocolate, plus a ton of essential nutrients. Just throw it in there. So it works great.
It is. It's a good addition. So what's the last one?
Yeah, we've got just a few more. It looks like 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract.
Okay, and this is pure bourbon vanilla extract.
Trader Joe's.
Pure can have double meanings. Pure, you really have to look at the ingredients, but this does in fact just have the extract of vanilla. So
Yeah.
it's not natural flavors
Yeah,
or artificial
exactly.
flavors. It's the real deal. It's the bean extracted.
Yeah, because it's always
Okay.
good to remember when you're reading things and it says all natural. You know, it's important to remember that arsenic is totally natural. You know,
True, and so
poison
is
ivy.
lead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lead and copper and all the other kinds of things you really don't want.
Yeah, you don't. Also, we're going to use 1/2 a teaspoon of cinnamon as well. I'm a huge fan of cinnamon. I put it on nearly everything. It's delicious. And healthy.
I actually buy it in pound bags and then put it in a little dispenser. But look for real cinnamon, because apparently there are different trees, different kinds. But this is from Indonesia, and it's pretty nice. It's not too spicy,
Ooh.
not too hot.
That's top of the
Yeah.
line.
It's
good
it's
stuff.
very good. We get this at Vitacost, and it is from Star West Botanicals.
Very nice. And then these last two, we're using the coconut oil, but not the coconut flakes. Is that-
Right. Coconut flakes. I've never done it on the cacao chips, but I think it would just kind of flake off the chips.
Yeah,
So we'll
yeah.
go with just the oil,
Sounds good. So we're going to use 3 tablespoons of coconut oil in this
which
recipe.
this is from Trader Joe's, but more and more people, more and more stores are carrying the virgin coconut oil. It's been maligned for years as being a danger, heart danger for high cholesterol, and just the opposite is true. It's a medium chain triglycerides, and it actually is good for the heart.
Definitely.
It's a good saturated fat.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Awesome.
first, I think we put in.
Yeah, it looks like what you're gonna do. You're gonna blend. If you have a food processor or a Vitamix blender, you're gonna put all your ingredients except for the kale into the mixer. So we're just gonna go ahead and start adding everything.
Right, and what I did with this before Austin came was we soaked half cashew nuts and half macadamia, both of which are very high in essential fatty acids that are very, very heart healthy. So we soaked those for a minimum of 4 hours. In this case, it was overnight, and so they're ready. They're kind of semi-sprouted. That cuts down on a lot of the acids that inhibit enzyme production.
Cool.
So,
Great.
and mineral production or mineral absorption.
Awesome.
Way more than you ever wanted to know,
Hey,
right?
but it's useful. It's good to know.
It's, especially in polite company, you can carry on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome. So let's just go ahead and probably add the rest of the ingredients.
Okay, you can read them off, or I'll read them and you can add if you want.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'll switch places with you.
Perfect.
And we have our half cup. Actually, what we're doing is we're doubling the mix that's going on the kale because we have a very large amount of kale.
A lot of kale. Yeah.
So instead of a half cup cashews, we're doing 1 cup of cashews mixed with macadamias. The next is our honey.
All right.
So it calls for 1 tablespoon, meaning that we'll double that, 2 tablespoons.
Looks like we've got a tablespoon here.
It does, and that's usually a good, go right ahead. It looks like good honey. If it crystallizes, that's usually a sign that it's real raw honey. It's a little cold today in the kitchen, so it's not real malleable.
Yeah, looks like.
You can use this to, it's kind of an approximate amount, but the more you can be accurate. However, I deal with a lot of recipes from my grandma where it's a pinch of this, stir until mixed, cook until done. So you kind of come up with your own preferences and amounts as you go. Okay, so we've got 2 tablespoons of sweetener, honey in this case, and then we're going to add, this originally called for a lot more honey or sweetener. What I like to do is decrease the amount of honey, typically to maybe as much as 1/4, and then add the stevia. I've noticed if you do that together, you're really not tasting the stevia, really the honey comes through.
Got it. Okay.
Right, but you don't have the sugar. Perfect. So we're looking at a 1/2 teaspoon of that. It's 1/4 teaspoon for one mix, but we're going double here.
Sounds good.
So I've found, because I'm making a lot of different things with the stevia lately, that about 3 of those dropperfuls equals 1/2 teaspoon.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And we get the Cal Liquid Stevia. Again, a lot of the products that we get is through Vitacost.com, but most of the local stores would carry it too, your health food stores.
All right. Sounds good.
We like Vitacost because it's discounted, we get it delivered to the door, and there's no shipping, no tax.
It's great.
It's a good service.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, the next is our 2/3 cup Navitas cacao powder.
Okay. This is looks like 1/3 cup.
Looks like it is. And
You think
sometimes
just
just,
scoop it?
scooping it in, and if you kind of mix it, rub it on the side here, that usually will level it out so that you get a fairly accurate 1/3 cup. That was a pretty full third.
Pretty full, but
Well, we like a lot of cacao.
keeping it
so,
chocolatey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can just kind of press it against there.
Alright.
Yeah, that looks good. And we still have our two spices. Yes, that's good. 2/3 is
Okay,
good.
perfect.
And next we've got 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract,
Alright.
which
2
I found this one is,
teaspoons.
yes, 2 teaspoons. Again, I think people make theirs with their own beans. It
Yeah.
depends. You can go completely natural, or you can have some processed. We try to keep processed to a minimum, but certain things like this, we use.
We allow, yeah, especially when we can find it in its purest form.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's always the trick. Label read, label read.
Yeah,
Make sure those ingredients, A, you can pronounce, and B, you understand.
absolutely, yeah.
And they're at a
That's
minimum.
pretty easy to do, yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Alright.
And it's calling for a half teaspoon
1
cinnamon, so we need a whole teaspoon cinnamon.
teaspoon of cinnamon.
And you probably have to take the little lid off,
That's smart.
because that's just for the sprinkling. Which we do with our sweet potatoes. You were just telling me about that recipe.
Yeah.
I think, does that fit inside there?
I almost don't want to contaminate it with the
Oh,
honey.
you know,
and the-
that's right. Maybe the half teaspoon has not been used, so you could use
Okay.
more of those. If not, I think I have another teaspoon. Voila!
Oh, perfect.
There you go.
Handy.
And no honey
Let's
on
use
it.
that.
No yucky stuff to contaminate it.
That
Doesn't fit very well.
fit in there. I'm pretty, got a pretty steady hand though.
Good. That's steady hand in cooking is always a good thing.
All
I
right.
think we're getting there.
Yeah.
That looks like the. About it. Yes.
That is
We
it.
called for a
1
half.
teaspoon.
Yeah, called for a half, and we're doubling, so I think you're good to
A
go.
little extra just because I
Oh,
love cinnamon.
just-
There we go.
And it's great for blood sugar control. It's
Yeah.
an antifungal, antibiotic. Yeah, it's a great spice. One of the top spices to incorporate into your diet.
Awesome.
And then we're going to skip down. We're not going for the coconut flakes, but
That's okay.
we certainly recommend that you try them if coconut flakes is something you enjoy. But we are going to add the 3 tablespoons of coconut oil.
Okay, so we have this honey-coated one. Do you want
Oh,
to do
let's see if we
something
can find another tablespoon in here. And voila, here we go.
Yes.
My goodness.
else? It's handy.
Yes,
I like that.
that's one thing always, to have your cooking items as close as possible. Cuts
Yeah.
down on running around,
Oh,
which we'll be discussing in another blog video. Okay, so 3 tablespoons. Now the nice thing about cooking in the summer is above 76 degrees this liquefies. You can just put it, in a pan of warm water, and it will begin to liquefy and make it easier to work with. But our little mixer here should do the job. Last but not least,
Almost there.
almost. One nice thing about coconut oil, you do not have to refrigerate it. I've heard that the shelf life is up to 5 years.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a long time.
It is.
I did not know that.
Yeah, again, it's like your cinnamon. It's antifungal, antibacterial. It's probably your healthiest fat, healthiest oil. And it's great for cooking because you can use it at high temperatures without
yeah.
reaching a smoking point.
That's great.
So we can
That's it
begin
for-
to mix
yeah.
it. Yeah. And once it's mixed, we'll be back and show you just how to spread this over the kale tips. You know what? I think we need to start over here. Or we need to turn that off.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure this out and we'll get back to you guys real soon.
Okay.
Oh, we got it. Perfect.
Okay.